Good morning. It is a Friday morning, and we've got some weather to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about Mount Shasta. I'm going to show you some of that cloud buildup from yesterday. Thunderstorms yesterday. We talked about that. Not so much today. There's a chance for a few thunderstorms in the afternoon a little further north. We're going to look at a couple of areas. We're going to look at the weekend weather, certainly. We're going to look at the surf, long range models. God, we do it all today. Hit a couple cool earth cam spots, which is awesome. Like spots, like Chicago. We're going to check the air quality out there. Air quality's been just ass in Chicago for the last week or so, and has to do with this Canadian wildfires. We have heat advisories, heat warnings, where they have been. It's cooling off down there in the Carolinas and the middle Ohio and lower Ohio Valley, but it's still pretty hot. And then some heat down in Phoenix. No duh. And then this cool shot. And welcome to Friday, by the way. Stoked. I'm going a little early today because going down to see Dad. And then I'm taking off for a few days. Well, I'm going to be on and off for the next 3 weeks. So I'm going to figure out a way to do these a little bit. But I'm not going to live and die by this stuff. Even though I love you guys. I love doing this. All right. I don't like to, I never get away from weather. But producing these takes a little while, which is awesome. It's fun. But if I do it on a trip, right, with the family, I'm like, yeah, that's weird. Right? Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's not weird. It's passion, but it's still weird. Okay, Mount Shasta. Awesome. This is my favorite. So we talked about this yesterday. Remember, I'm going all the way back 24 hours. Watch the cloud build up. This is yesterday. Remember the thunder. Oh, look at the mountain just triggering that stuff. And then, rain shafts, thunder, lightning, rainbow. Oh, dude, it's so awesome. Let's go back a little bit. So this was yesterday. We were here yesterday morning, and I said, hey, look at that cumulus cap on Mount Shasta. There's obviously, let's see if it'll pause it. Here we go. Sorry. There's obviously moisture in the air, and you can see it. This is morning yesterday. It's around 10, 11 o'clock. And you can see it's already build up, right? The mountain triggers it first, but that whole surrounding air mass is moist and unstable. So the mountain triggers it, the condensation first. But then the ground gets hot from the sun, and you'll see everywhere start to produce, right? It's still piling up on the east side of the mountain, but you see it around the area now. And then the daytime heating, and then, it's awesome. What a day yesterday for those folks. There's a rain shaft. Actually, almost looks like light rain shaft, and then a big shaft goes through. Look at that. Oh, it's dark. Rain shaft, and then just a squall right there. Boosh. Oh, awesome. Weather's so great. Rainbow, well, we'll take it. Yeah, we'll take it. And then, so this is, right here, this towards the end of the day. And then the thunderstorms die down as I love the City of the Lights too. Isn't that awesome? So what did I just show you there? I just showed you some moisture reacting to the summer sun and the mountain. And the mountain, people say mountains create their own weather. Yeah, no duh, they create their own weather. Topography is such a huge part of, weather forecasting and just weather in general. Okay, so here's today, right now. This is the last few hours. Our low pressure, remember that? Look at it's moved. That's why it's a little warmer. It's moved off a little bit, and it's allowing this four corners high to build out. It's showing some heat still down here. We got a tropical spinner down in this area, down in southern Pacific, or below Baja. What else we got? And then we got bad air quality here. Okay, I'll move on. Not moving as quick as normal. Here's the satellite image. We got a lot of fog along the coast, but you can't see it. But when you can't see it, what you do is you go to the live picture. I'm early enough now that the visible satellite doesn't work. You could use infrared, but the visible does a good job showing fog. And visible is just a snapshot from the Goes West satellite. So when there's no light, when the sun's not up yet, there's no light, so you got no picture. This is a great shot too. Really just stoked with these live cameras this morning. Watch this. So this is looking, starting off looking towards San Francisco. And then, sorry about the slow load. it shifts over towards Mount Diablo. There's the fog moving inland, and then it should shift here in a minute. And look at all that. So it's marine layer is about 18. Then there's, look at the fog coming across the bay. That's Mount Diablo. Sun coming up. Isn't that awesome? Yes. So marine layer, about, what do you think, about 1,800 feet? Let's go find out. Let's see. No, it's a little higher now. Well, this is a profile at Port Ord. It's got the marine layer. That's at 2,000 feet. So that makes, I mean, yeah, sure. Mount Temps, 2,500 feet. So the marine layer, that is the top of the inversion. And then, I think I can do this. This is the top of the inversion, right? So it's the same thing. So the top of those clouds is this area here. You knew that. But it's just, my whole goal here is to make you go, oh, profiler, scary and weird looking, but just really measures the depth of the marine layer. Time travels from current, which is left side, to right side, which is yesterday, right? This is yesterday. And then you go, oh yeah, that's what, so we're just looking at a cross section of all that fog. And the key player in all this is the height of the marine layer. We're using the height of Mount Tamalpais, which is right about here, to indicate, to guesstimate, because we didn't have a visible satellite today, to guesstimate the depth of the marine layer. And we were within a couple hundred feet, right? All right, awesome. Today's gonna be a nice day. These are the forecast highs for today. Hope you got a good one. Planning to go down and see Dad, that he's 98 years old. He's slowing down, but he's still awesome. There's some awesome about, like his memory's not crushing right now, but he's in the moment. I know, and I know it's supposed to be sad when you lose your memory, but in some ways, you know, he's a driven guy, veterinarian, father, you know, fifth generation Californian. He's just a grinder, smart guy. He's one of the smartest guys I know. And he's lost all that, but he lives in the moment, which is kind of beautiful. I might just be telling myself a story, but I don't think I am. Like, I'm going to take him down, and we walk down to the pier. He's in a wheelchair, which is awesome, because before he was in a wheelchair, I couldn't get him anywhere, right? Like, we'd have to sit in his room or go down to the lobby or whatever. It's hard to move him around the last year, 2 years, but when you put him in a wheelchair, you go, dude, we're going out to the lane, man. We're going to go to the pier. We're going to look at people. We're going to see what's going on out here. And truth be known, we do. I grab a coldie, and I get 2 red cups from the little liquor store at the pier, and we go sit on, not, it's illegal to have beer on the pier, but we sit right before the beer sign, and we sit and we split a beer. And in reality, he has like 3 sips, but it brings him back to being like, I hate to say 14 again, but it was the, you know, it was the 30s, 1930s. These are the forecast highs for today, or the highs from today. 92 in Sacramento. That's not bad at all. These are the forecast highs for tomorrow. About the same. This pattern is holding, by the way. It's not like, I'll show you an opportunity for a little bit of a break, like a warm up, but it's nothing big. It's nothing big. It's all super pleasant stuff. So I'm kind of digging that. This is the model. We'll go right to it. This is, well, here's the parent low, which has moved off a little bit. I'm going to spin it for you. See it? See it? Kind of moving. Kind of, okay. And then here we are. These areas spin through this, I call it scud. It's vorticity technically, but it's really just enough of a disturbance to disrupt the Pacific high and the Four Corners high, disrupt it enough that you get more of an onshore flow, you get just milder air mass in here. Yeah, so I'm dancing all around the hards. I just don't want to make it difficult to understand. So you just, if you can just eyeball this and go, here's the low, here's the stuff that's related to the low, which is not, you know, helpful to enhancing the high, which would heat us up. It's dehancing. I know I did it. Dehancing the high and keeping us kind of mild. So, right, there goes, you see, you know what's going on, right? There's California. Trophy still. Heck, we're at Wednesday the 6th. And then that high, Four Corners high starts to build out. You see high here. But see in the middle, the scud, right? I know. So if that wasn't there, we're baking. We're back to $1.05 and 90s in the Bay Area. But with that little area in the middle, right over us, right there, between these two highs, is kind of the reason, and it stays there. Wow, that's pretty warm right there. That's like that kind of backs that retro. This guy's retrograding and leaving. Cloudy, monsoonal moisture, August 11th. Yeah, yeah, yeah. August 11th, 12th looks pretty warm. Okay, that might be our next shot for some real heat around August 11th. That's a ways off. That's the GFS. Here is the North America model, and we're looking for rainfall. Forecast high or forecast rain for this afternoon. So here we come into this afternoon. Use the NAM North American model because it's higher resolution, smaller grid, more rapid on the updates. Not updating every 6 hours, but updating every few hours. So here is where the thunderstorms are expected today. And then let's go up beyond that, Lake Tahoe, maybe some activity out around Susanville, and then that's kind of it for a while. Yeah. Okay, so little activity again today. We saw that on Mount Shasta. Well, did I? I'll take you to Mount Shasta again. We'll look at it. So actually, I'm going to do it again. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. So if I go to current time, this is now, you can see, I think that's now. Yeah, well, 1 minute. So you can see some of the moisture. That it's not as prolific as yesterday, but you can see some of that moisture there. So now I'll go back to the watches and warnings. Fog along dense fog advisory on the up around Portland and Seattle. Rainfall flood watches for thunderstorms. Ooh, air quality bad. Remember we talked about that. This is that Canadian wildfire thing. It's interesting. It's going to be interesting. Something's going to come from this because, again, like I said, some of the legislators in the United States are going, hey, oh, wait a minute. Why are we taking so much smoke from Canada? Is it because you guys are not taking care of your forests, you're you're doing too many controlled burns, or you can't, whatever it is. There's beef, slight beef, or trying to be beef. And yeah, you got kind of a point. It's a weird one. I'm all about controlled burns. I think they're awesome, but you look what it does to air quality. And in this air quality zone, the elephant in the room is, you know what? I talk about heat being the thing that takes you out. Air quality is the other thing. Air quality, if you got pre-existing conditions, asthma, just things that can be triggered. Heat will trigger things too, but air quality. And so you die of a heart attack, it doesn't get counted as an air quality death. So there's a lot. Air quality is a thing, man. Like it kind of is weird that we don't pursue that more, like direct. I'm not an atmospheric chemist, but it just seems to me that are huge relationships, and they just get buried in statistics because he has a 85-year-old guy died of a heart attack. Well, perhaps he got some of this particulate matter in his lung or in his bloodstream, and and I'm just speculating, but it's not a hard leap to make. Here's the heat down in Florida and Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. Not as bad as it has been. Here is some heat down in southeastern, a heat advisory. I think it's a heat advisory. I gotta check it. I make sure I get the colors mixed up. Yeah, heat warning down for 112, 111 in where are we? Yeah, kind of down towards Arizona and those areas. So right here, you can see the map's easier, and then you see the heat advisories here. Heat advisory here. Red flag warnings, I'm sorry. That's red flag warning. That's red flag warning. And then here are the heat advisories here, and then the air quality stuff here. And this is the surface map. So we could do this. Let's go see what the air quality is like in Chicago. So I'm going to remember we plug in. Right now, Gary Regional Airport, because that's where most of these surface obs come from. This map is awesome. It's in my links. Wind speed's 8 miles an hour, 65% humidity, 73 degrees. It's I would say that's muggy. That is absolutely muggy. So we move on to Chicago. That's what it looks like. We're going to look at air quality in Chicago because that's where there's issues. Chicago today goes 75 degrees. That's it. But look at the humidity's up in the upper 60s. Never been to Chicago. I hear it's pretty awesome. I don't know about the weather would freak me out. When the cold thing would freak me out a little bit. Okay, so that's Chicago. Oh, I got a little treat for you. We're going to roll through these bad boys. It's a cool sight. This is EarthCam. This is Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas is going to be warm today too, right? Texas will be in the 80s, low 90s. Beautiful day. Better air quality, some high level moisture. And then Toronto, Canada. Look at that. Never been. I got to get out, man. And then Georgia. What's going on in Georgia today? They're going to be in the upper 80s, low 90s. Greenville, North Carolina, 89 degrees. Tbilisi, oh my God. First of all, I can't pronounce the river. Mitgargavari River in Tbilisi, Georgia. Right there. I know. I just crucified that. Okay, these are the forecast highs. Georgia today, 92 degrees. Atlanta, anyway. So we got a lot going on. EarthCam was awesome. We saw some cities we don't normally look at. Now, these are the highs for today. And it's much less heat, really. It's still hot, but it's not. Like, Houston looks gnarly today. New Orleans looks gnarly with high humidity, but the temperatures aren't, we're not doing 90s anymore. Yesterday we had some 90-degree temperatures up towards Memphis, 90 degrees temperatures with like 65, 70% humidity, which was beyond me. Here's the smoke. So we look at the air quality in Chicago. We know there's air quality alerts, and here are those fires up on the Canadian plate. And not bad. Look at us. When I say us, I know I'm trying to do everybody, but I really am centered on the West Coast, and we are not hurting. We're not doing too bad for smoke at all, actually. And look at these fires. I mean, again, I'm not a fire expert guy either. I'm sort of an expert on looking at fires because over all my years in television, the weather guy always ends up being the fire guy. So I've learned a lot about fires, but I still have a lot that I do not know. And one of the things I do not know, which would probably just require a quick Google search, but I was thinking about other things today. But these fires in Canada, are they raging? Are they meant to be raging? But this smoke, as it bleeds into the Northeast, into Chicago, right, New York, I mean, that's a lot of bad air quality, and there is a beef to be had. It's as we become more aware of the environment, as we become more aware of, I talked about cloud seeding and smoke from fires. This impacts other people, and look at how much now millions of people are under less than good air quality, less than good, bad. Let's just call it bad air quality, and that. Does that have to happen? I don't know. I'm all for controlled burns. And I'm just throwing it out there because one of you guys is smarter than me about air quality stuff. I know a lot because I've been doing it for a long time, but there's a lot of things I don't know. That's the thing. When I was a kid, came out of college, I knew everything. I was like, I had my cloud physics, physical geography, geology, a couple of degrees, blah, 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 blah. And then all this time in television and just trying to learn new things. And the more I know, the less I know. I used to think I knew everything because I thought I knew everything because I knew a lot. I could rework all the Newton's equations, and I could do all that stuff. Build a mega equation from scratch, which is a forecast model equation. But then now that I'm like 100 years old and been doing this forever, I go, I don't know anything. The more you know, the less you know, because you realize, holy smokes, you start seeing connections that you couldn't see when you didn't know anything. Okay, so watchduty.org, the most useful weather site in the summer months for California. Little fire in Montebello, up in the hills above Cupertino. 5-acre fire. Got a little picture of it from this morning. In my take on this fire, even though there's no containment yet, this was at 1:59 this morning. This fire will be crushed. It will be crushed because you can't say that for certain, but the humidity, temperature, fuel moistures are pretty manageable in that area. I know the train really well. The train looks pretty gnarly, but they'll get it. And this is that fire. I think this is Lassen County. This is the Susanville fire. 259 acres, 25% containment. They were worried about this one yesterday, and you can see why. dry brush, and there was a little bit of wind out there. But they had an air tanker on it, total of four Type 1 air tankers. Wow. So they hit it hard yesterday. And I go back to the early days of CAL FIRE and the Forest Service. I can remember sitting, because I used to do this in newsrooms, and they would take me live, and I'd be talking about a fire, and we'd have our weather chopper up and whatever. And you would not have air support on a fire like that until it got giant and out of control. It was resources. And the resources have since been elevated to the point that like I just said, there were 4 tankers on that fire yesterday, 250 acres. That's awesome. That's why it's not a raging fire today. And back in the day, I would wait for air support. And a big fire, occasionally you'd get it in the same within 6 hours, 5 hours, 4 hours, but you never saw 4 tankers within an hour. They don't mess around anymore. It's awesome. You guys, that's a good job, man. I grew up in Northern California, and they used to have the hot shots, which are just some badass firefighter guys. They're like air rescue guys. I mean, but they're trained, right? They're basically Navy SEALs, and I think they were out of Red Bluff, and they train. And a lot of guys I grew up with, not a lot, but more than a few guys became hot shots, right? I have a couple of friends that were, and they're badasses, man. But that was those were the guys that were sent in before the tankers. They could tell you stories, and I've heard stories from them. These are the 6 to 10 day temperature outlooks, so a little above average. That's okay. That's all right. We have been below average. And then rainfall, still the monsoonal stuff looks light through the 10th of August, and then above average rainfall out here, where the moisture plumes are ridiculously large. Here's the swell, which is good south energy. Then you can see California, and it looks good, but the swell's really, it's not. It'd be interesting to see. This is energy wavelength. So the swell that coming out of the south, it's southern hemisphere winter, so all this stuff's coming from the south. I'm just looking for swell because it's been small lately, and I mean it's there. There's swell energy. It could show, but right now the models are not giving us much. This is Pacifica, kind of windy, kind of foggy, kind of ucky. Pacifica today, you guys go 62 degrees. And the swell's, 2 to 3. Here is, are we at Cardiff? I guess we're back at Cardiff. That looks fun, right? Get your longboard, staying out of the way. A lot of people having fun. No bickering. That's fun. Kind of a cold day in San Diego. And then this is Bliss State Park on the kind of the south, kind of by Fallen Leaf Lake on the southwest side of Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe today, I'm going to go 83 degrees, pardon me. And the sun comes up. Isn't it beautiful? This is why California is awesome. Because we just went, you're at Cardiff, Mount Shasta, Lake Tahoe, Mount Tamalpais. Dude, I know. The rest of the country is like, you guys suck, you guys are this, you guys are that. California, they got earthquakes. Yeah, we do. But then we have Lake Isabella, right? And temperatures up there will be in the 90s today. And Lake Isabella's got a certain beauty to it as well. It's got that eastern Sierra look. Lake Isabella is kind of over by, what's a big town we're by here? Come on, Shafter Lake. You can kind of see it. So here's Shafter, Bakersfield. Okay, so that's Bakersfield, and then that's where we are. Kind of just a big reservoir up there. Okay, we're moving along. Puffins? No, jellyfish. Just take a minute, gather our thoughts. Thank you so much for joining. I do have a bit of a conundrum because I am going to be out of town for a while. I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff, but I'm not going to be easily on this. So I'm going to try to post up maybe a couple just so if there's something that goes on. But I am kind of like, I might take a laptop and just burn something out. Just because for me, it's not even really for you guys, sorry. Well, it is kind of, but it's a lot for me in that I kind of hate getting out of the weather loop. And this is something I've been doing since I was in college. So we didn't have YouTube back then, but I was always weather briefing my friends. Jellyfish, Monterey Bay Aquarium. I don't even know what you say about that. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, Puffins. Oh, someone's in trouble. This mirror got kind of pissed out. Look, he's all. It's funny. Somebody asked me the other day. He goes, "Where'd the fake puffin go, or the fake mirror go?" Look at the mirror's got attitude. Puffins just seem sweet. It's funny because I better get going here. I have a hummingbird feeder. I used to, but then I realized hummingbirds are kind of dicks. They are, because they're really cute. But if you watch hummingbirds long enough at a feeder, you go, "Oh, you guys are dicks," and they're awesome, and they're God's nature's creatures and all that. But I'm just thinking, isn't that funny? I wonder if puffins, maybe, because really cute things sometimes can be dicks, right? I don't know if that's true. There's no way these guys could be dicks. They're so awesome. Puffins spend most of their time at sea. This is Manhattan Beach. High temperature in Manhattan Beach today is going to be 60, or no, pardon me, 72 degrees. Looks like they might be having a little surf contest going on down there. They have a longboard competition going on. Maybe that's what they're doing. I should pay attention to that more. Surfing competitions, right? Surfing's just surfing. It's like dance competitions. It's like, yeah. Okay, the bears, but there's no bears. The salmon don't stop, man. They do not stop. I mean, isn't it? Somebody, when you guys wrote in yesterday, same thing. It's kind of sad. I mean, it's awesome, but it's sad that some of these guys they've swum all the way from the ocean, hundreds of miles, maybe further, to get to this point, to get picked off by a bear, or to get picked off by just not being able to having enough energy. Because that's what all this is inside here, are fish that can't get up there. They're trying to recover, but my understanding, these are sockeye salmon. This is where the sockeye salmon run. They don't eat, so it's not like they're getting nutrition. They fatten up, come up from the ocean, and try to get to these little. You'd be blown away at this little streams they try to slide into, to lay their eggs. Okay, no bears today. Hope you have a great day. Weekend looks good. The weather this whole weekend looks good. You know what yesterday was like? Next few days. Okay. Thanks for watching.